Hello everyone, this is Barry, and I'm going to do a little voiceover of a spear duel that I had at Duke Timothy's Adult Swim practice almost 3 years ago now. So says February 21st, 2016 is when the video was uploaded. So anyway, this is I'm on the right side of the screen in the green and gold, and on the left side of the screen is at the time Crown Prince Dietrich. I think soon to be a Duke. I'm not sure if he's finished his reign yet. But anyway, so this is a pretty interesting duel, and I just so much has changed over the last couple of years in the way I fight. I just want to, and I've learned so much more, so I just kind of want to do a little bit of analysis. So if we look at the first pass here, you can see two completely different stances. Dietrich on the left in the black has a very upright stance. He has his lead arm forward. A lot of spear fighters like to do this. It sort of covers a kill pocket that you can find back in the shoulder, in the lead shoulder, as it attaches to the chest. I don't do it. I feel a little more comfortable keeping my arm closer to my body. I feel I can control the spear a little bit better. And honestly, I never get hit on the lead shoulder, so until that starts to happen, I don't think I'm going to change. Dietrich is a little bit more upright, and he has his hip, I guess it'd be the hip closer to the camera, a little bit forward. And you can see that his body is very well cocked. You can see his hip is forward, but his right shoulder is back. I am in a much more sideways position. My position, I think, is a little bit better defensively. He can parry and fire quickly after parrying much more quickly than I do. And in fact, I've actually adopted his position. It took me a couple years to adopt it, but I now fire from his position because it's just a much quicker position to fire from. So watch this first pass here. You'll see what I do is I try to, I call it an inside shot. I basically go to the left side of his spear. I'm trying to basically hook my spear around to hit him into his lead shoulder and in the chest area. Up to this point, before I got to this practice, that was a one shot that I could pretty much get on just about anyone I fought. And Dietrich was too quick for it. And what I find especially impressive about Dietrich here is he was able to parry it, and get the counterattack quicker than I could get my guard up. That was a bit surprising. I've never seen anyone fight that fast before. So that's the first pass. The second pass, well, I'm trying to lead up with some feints here, and I'm a little bit, I'm trying to get him off his guard, throw him around a bit. I still missed the shot, but this time I was at least quick enough to get the parry. So this time he goes first, and he fumbled a little bit. I'm not as quick with my, my counter shot, a little bit deliberately, because my counter shot's really not quick enough to beat the repost. So what I do is I actually take an extra beat to see where he's going to go to block, and I try to hit somewhere else. In this case, he actually fumbled grabbing the spear. It's actually not his spear, so that might have had a little bit to do with it. Also, this is a practice. He was pretty tired. This is not a tournament, so we're just both trying to feel each other out and have a good practice here. All right, fourth pass. Okay, again, now we're playing a little bit of a range game. One of the things that we do here is that you see the crack in the middle. We had an agreement that neither one of us could pass the crack. And again, this is the same shot I tried early on. He countered. Three. All right, 3 out of 4 failures there. Again, that was a shot that had worked in just about everyone I fought, and he's just too quick for it. And I finally was convinced to give up on it. He's timing me. It's not working out for me. So here maybe I'm trying to make him shoot first. Again, we're playing with the points a little bit. There we go. All right, another shot. Okay, we're dancing around, trying to keep each other off of the straight line. And he tries to get a quick one. I parry it off. Again, he fumbles a little bit with a spear, and I countered. Again, my counter is a beat slower than I'm capable of, just to try to read where his defense is going to go. Okay, now that's the first time that one of us actually was able to land the initial shot. And what I did here was I was just varying the timing. So early on, and this is something I try to tell a lot of new fighters, is a lot of new fighters I noticed that they, when they call lay on, they tend to throw a shot about 2 beats after the lay on. And the timing becomes pretty predictable. So what I was doing was I was sort of I had some repetitive timing, which I've gotten better about varying, but here I realized that I couldn't go with my standard shot, and the arm actually goes out a little bit to get around his spear shaft, and then yeah, it was just basically a shot right at the face to a side that he hadn't seen yet, and in a different timing than he had seen. I've stolen a lot from Dietrich, mainly his stance. Duke Branos likes to teach this stance, and you're getting your back hip a little bit more far forward, and you're getting the back foot a little bit to the outside. All right, I went for the first shot again. Oh, what Dietrich did there was very nice too. I went for the same shot that I did early on. I call it an inside shot. It's basically to his left side. But I really tried to vary the timing and set up with a lot of feints. He fires and then immediately fires again. And you'll actually see that he doesn't even recoil the spear completely back. He kind of comes back. Let's see this. Yeah, just up to the hip and tries to fire again. Meanwhile, I have my spear tipped down, backhand up in the air, and I'm just basically trying to defend off his tip. Okay, this is the same shot that I threw in the beginning of the video that I think I'd failed 3 of my first 4 attempts because Dietrich was just countering so fast, and this time I finally pulled it off. And I want to show both examples here so I can show you what the difference is. And the main difference is sort of how I set up the shot. This time what I did was I do it from a very relaxed position. In other words, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to put a presentation that I'm not ready to throw a shot. So if you look at this version, notice how I stand up just a bit and I'm a little bit straight-legged, and then I fire the shot from that position. Versus if we go back to the first time I threw it, look at how intense and I'm standing very aggressive, like I'm ready to throw. Okay, and then we go back to what I just did recently, and look, I stand up, he fights a little bit, and then I kind of fire from a position where I'm trying to make him think like I'm not ready to fire. And then back to the original position where I was, very aggressive. This is something that over the last 2.5 years I've worked on a lot, and I find it to be very effective. Just basically not letting them know that you're gonna shoot. Okay, and that one was an interesting pass because basically what he did was neither one of us had done this yet, but deflect the spear out of the way, and then take a shot. And he does the same thing I did earlier with the upside down spear defense. Once he has my spear on one side, he just keeps my spear tip offline. And his next pass is pretty interesting because here we again dance back and forth a little bit. And boom, direct right to the face. He missed it. He went high and to the right of my head. Boom. And same shot I landed earlier. He said that one wasn't hard enough. I believe him. Sometimes it's hard to throw. You really have to just put your weight into it at the end of the shot. And that's just a range issue. And then he gets out of range. And again, you see my counter's not fast enough. Oh, God, it looks so slow there. It's largely why I've changed my my position to more of a Dietrich position now. Yeah, that one ended it with the cup shot. Sorry about that, Dietrich. Yeah, and that one, this is the first time that I've actually gone low, and which is funny because 2.5 years later, I almost exclusively go low now. I just find that hips are so much easier to hit because everybody's protecting their upper torsos and their faces. I go for hips a lot, and you can sort of see if we go through this again. Let's run this in slow motion. How this is set up. It's pretty much a fake high to one side. Both of our tips are high, and boom, yeah, I get his spear going up. He was a little bit tired at this point. This was the very end, and actually I cut out. He did some passes with Guppy early on that tired him out, so I think that was partially happened there. All right, anyway, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this.